Welcome back to CBNEXT Live. I'm Franklin Katunda with CBNEXT Live show called the Next News Review. Today is elections, special elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We're talking about now violence. How do we define violence? Is it just a speech that incites to violence, or is it an act that is actually committed and that is a violence on the population or on a group of people in the country? We have news that came from the VOA interview that they had last Thursday with Mr. Etienne Tshisekedi wa Mulumba, when he said, I'm going to quote here, I did not ask the people to take up the weapons, but I was calling instead them to mobilize. So he called for mobilization. That's what he's saying. And he actually insisted that he said, and he repeated, that he is the president and he's been appointed. He was clear about it. He said he's been appointed by the people, not elected, but appointed by the people. Now, the first question I have, it will be for Abraham from Apareco in Washington, D.C. What's your take on the fact that the international community just went and jumped in and started going after Etienne Tshisekedi about what he said? What do you think wrong? What do you think is wrong with the whole thing?
Thank you for having me on your show tonight.
Yes, sir.
What I say first is I want us to go back just a year ago almost. We had the mapping report being released in October 2010 in New York. In this report, they were saying that almost 6 million people have been killed or dead in the Congo due to the violence. The international community didn't say a word about it. We were there, we wrote a lot of memos, nobody did any word. We had another report that came out early this year, talking about 48 women being raped somehow in the Congo. No one from the international community said nothing about it. We have in the Congo still today people that have we have a warrant against them, such as Kundabatware Laurent, Bosco Tangata. All those people, all those folks are in the Congo and nobody wants to take care about them. So we actually, our view, we from Apareco, we keep on saying this. The international community has to take care about the situation in the Congo in the right way. They don't have to play us the way they're playing us, because actually they know that with Mr. Etienne Tshisekedi, we surely should be elected as a president in the Congo. There will be another ball game on the table. So we at Apareco, we define this, saying that the Congo is under occupation, and our people is on a daily basis struggling, getting killed without anybody saying a word, getting arrested without anybody, without a good justice system. So to us, this is just another word. They want to threaten us, saying that, okay, we want to go after Mr. Tshisekedi, and even the international, criminal court is behind him, saying a word that they want to arrest him. We know that this is something that we've seen in Ivory Coast, we've seen it in other countries. But what I may say to my fellow Congolese is we have to fight back for our rights. Yes. Nobody will give us our rights back. What they call violence, they've been using it. They use it, they've been bombing in Libya. Nobody says a word. They bomb in Ivory Coast. Nobody said a word. How many people were killed? Let's talk about Afghanistan. Let's talk about Iraq. We can go on and on. While they want to do something, they will do it without any justification. Here, it's just the candidate who's saying, according to the lack of justice, according to the struggle on a daily basis of people down there, he's asking his fellow citizens to step up and to fight for their rights. There were revolutions in America, in Europe, and everywhere else. So this statement from international community, to our point of view, such as people from Apareco, we're saying no to that. This is kind of another, a bad piece of feature they want to play in the Congo. We have to step, we have to fight back until we are going to get our country back. It takes what it takes. They call it violence. We're saying this is revolution. We have to take back our country. And you know, they've been fighting for their rights. They've been fighting for peace in America. You know, let's look at this, Franklin.
Okay.
5,000 people getting killed in New York. 9/11. How many were killed in Afghanistan? How many in Iraq?
Okay.
How many in Pakistan? So just 5,000. So,
all right.
You know, that kind of game, I want to tell people from UDPS or Congolese, Patriots Congolese, we can listen to those kind of situations. Let's fight back, get our country, and we're going to sit down and talk with those people. That's what I have to say tonight according to the violence in the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the point you made.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, go ahead, caller from Connecticut.
I appreciate what Abraham just said about the violence. I think from now, I'm not saying that there's violence at different levels. The violence that we need to start doing in Congo is a violence that should not be to be killing people or whatever, but it's a violence to put pressure on this oppressive government, because their political system will never respond to any political demand that the opposition will be putting forth towards them.
All right.
So what we need to do is figure out a way to put more pressure on them. Pressure through violence, not even killing anybody, but just to maybe even disobey everything that they're going to do. If the elections are rigged, that way, that will mean that we all just go out in the streets and it will just become chaos, and we intensify this violence to root out that guy that's in power over there. We don't even know how he got into that place. So, as an independent, I'm just saying it's getting just too much. We are not able to resist. We cannot take this. We cannot just be good boys sitting on the bench in school, just listening to the way, listening and just seeing the way this country is just going underground. It's time to start intensifying our violence.
All right.
It's a giddy talk.
All right.
But now we're going to have to be going into action.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's what I'm going to say. But there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing. We're just going to be intensifying till the fire really starts burning out that government, out of that power.
Okay, and thank you so much, caller from Connecticut. I wanted just to give a little bit of the talking points we got in the news. The UN Agency of Human Rights reported that for a 10-month period beginning November 2010 all the way to now, there was at least 188 cases linked to the electoral process and 188 cases of violations of violence against citizens linked to the electoral process. There is several things that they mentioned. There's a suppression of people's right to free speech, the right for assembly, the right for protest or sitting, and we saw that lately with the sitting at the CENI, the Electoral Commission, and then also people who are not being protected by the police, the national police, when they're being attacked. And we saw that with the PPRD when the PPRD headquarters was ransacked, and at the same time when the UDPS headquarters also was set ablaze in Limete. So the question I have for the representative, the General Secretary of UDPS Dallas, is this. We heard Mr. Moreno do Campo from the International Tribunal talking about already prosecuting people who may be found inciting violence in Congo. Do you think it's the right way to go for the tribunal?
For a tribunal, I would say it's just not the right way to go, you know.
Why?
Let me ask you a question. The people who've been killing people, they've been raping people, they've been arresting arbitrary people.
Yes.
Who are, and excuse me, and beside has been Mr. Tshisekedi, who's asking people to mobilize in order to protect their right. Who's committing the real violence. That's my question to Mr. Ocampo. This is like he just jumped on too early and too bad on the wrong side, because in Congo we have Bosco Tangana, who has been they already issued a mandate to arrest him since, I don't know, it's been 3 or 4 years now. He's in Congo. They can arrest him. They can send him to ICC. And now Mr. Tshisekedi is asking to the people to protect their right. They're saying he's inciting people to violence. This is just the hypocrisy of the Mr. Ocampo, who's trying just to put fear on the people who are really fighting for the right of the people who has been so long since their independence, the country of the Congo, especially in this case, who has been so long under these dictatorships, and they're trying to protect these people in order to perpetrate their dictatorship on this. And this, I would say again, Mr. Ocampo has been wrong, and he's still been wrong, but Mr. Tshisekedi is still right on calling people to mobilize.
That same question to Mr. Papi Tomono, who is independent. The UN accuses the elements of the PNC, which is the National Police of Congo. They are also accusing the Congolese National Police and the National Intelligence, the ANR, to be the folks who are targeting the members and the supporters of opposition parties. And I'm going to name those parties: UDPS, UNC with Vital Kamerhe, and DC, which is the Christian Democracy with Mr. Diomi Ndongala. So what's your take on that?
Well, I think violence has no place in democracy.
Well, but it's been there already.
I know that. It can come from the people in the power or from the opposition. Violence has no place in democracy. If you really install democracy in your country, you need to stay away from violence. I don't care which party are you. Udps, PPRD, apareco. Violence has no place in democracy. If you really want your country to be a democratic country, you need to refrain from violence.
Okay, so what do you make of the recent incidents where billboards from Vital Kamerhe have been taken down in some cities like in Goma, and just some of them been burnt down? What do you make of that?
That's wrong. That's like I say, it can come from the people in the power or from the opposition. It's still violence, and it's wrong in democracy. That's my take.
Okay, now we're gonna go back to the PPRD and try to really get into the details about their national agenda. And this is gonna be the third segment of our show, where we're gonna ask, why are you supporting such and such candidates? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Franklin Katunda with CBNEXT Live. We are watching the next news review. We'll be right back.